So could you just start by telling me what the digital divide is and why it's significant?
Sure. The digital divide basically refers to the difference mostly in user numbers between people who have access to a certain technology and people who do not have access. Now, the user numbers are the basic level of that, but also we speak of digital divides on different levels. So, for example, you could have very good infrastructure, a good internet penetration, for example, of some sort, but but you have too many sites blocked, for example, in a country. So it doesn't just refer to the number of users, it also refers to the quality of the service. How fast is the service? How good is it? What can you actually access online? What can you do with the technology? That kind of thing.
And what are the implications for having a digital divide for people who are not connected?
Well, the implications are vast, really. I mean, this is, you're talking about the knowledge gap. You're talking about people who have and have not. You're talking about having access to voice your opinion and your voice to the world, or don't. And in particular societies, that makes a lot of difference, particularly if you don't have many other outlets for your opinions to be voiced.
Why are people of different cultures and backgrounds drawn to digital media?
Because it's interesting and it's fun and it's easy and it's effective. It's efficient. You can do with it a lot of things. It's very diverse. You can do whatever you want with it, and at the same time, you can do a lot of things with it easily enough. You actually have access to doing that. You don't have access to television, for example. The average person doesn't have access to television on a day-to-day basis, but you can have access to your blog on a day-to-day basis, so that works.
And how has digital media affected the way...
I'm sorry, do you want me to look at you or to the camera?
It doesn't matter, really.
Okay.
I mean, it'll be close enough, so
all right.
Probably more into the camera.
Okay.
So how has digital media affected the way that people who are connected see other people who are not connected?
That's a good question. See, the whole point is, if you're not connected, you're not seen. That's the problem with being not connected. It's I was just giving a presentation at this National Communication Association session, and parts of the statistics that I showed, for example, tells you that about 50% of the world internet users are focused in 6 countries. 6 countries, and 50% of the internet world population. The top 20 countries have over 76% of the internet user population. So the other, however many countries you have in the world, all together constitute 24% of internet users, versus these very few countries that have a very, very highly concentrated user population. And that's a problem, because if you don't exist online to the people who are online, you don't exist. So you need to always make your voice heard. The problem is, the people who do not exist are the people who are least affluent in terms of education, in terms of socioeconomic status, in terms of countries' GDPs, in terms of democracy as well. And that's the problem. The problem is, people who do not have access are probably people who are most in need of access.
Do you think that if we were able to close the digital divide, that it might help undermine some of the stereotypes that are persistent in how, say, Americans perceive other cultures?
We would hope so, but of course, I mean, closing the digital divide is a very optimistic way of putting it. I mean, we talk of bridging the gap, or minimizing the digital divide, but really some areas of the world, the Arab world, for example, where I come from, is way far from catching up with some of the more advanced countries. I think a lot more than bridging the gap needs to be done, although that would help a great deal. I mean, I have no doubt about that. But the problem is, again, it's not just a matter of user population. It's a matter of what do you do with the technology once you have it. Research, for example, has shown that people on Facebook talk to people who are like them. So you're not really likely to befriend somebody from a different country or a different culture, particularly if you don't know them in person. You are more likely to befriend people who are with you in the same school or the same college, or are work colleagues, or live in your neighborhood, or people who are basically like you in terms of demographics. So unless we change that, what we need basically is diversity education. I think is the key word. You need to preach tolerance to other people. You need to preach that difference is good. We need to interact with each other more. We need to learn more about each other's cultures. I think that's what's going to do it.
This is Dr. Rasha Abdulla from the American University in Cairo. Thank you very much.
Thank you.